Rise and shine, Rwanda. It's Tuesday, the 1st of December.
Good morning, it's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Ivan Magwene.
And me, Yvette Shimbusho.
Over the next hour, we'll bring you all the latest news, sports and business headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. Starting, people, it's a new month, it's December, it's the 1st of December, of course. And of course, I think you're all happy for that.
And it's
I
World
can give the
AIDS
guesses.
Day.
Christmas coming up.
All right, Christmas
Yes,
getting
and
up.
it's end of the year,
End of the year
already.
already.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it was just January, the day before yesterday.
Okay.
Kidding.
Right, sure. Anyway, starting with you, Yvette, what do you have for us in the world of money?
We have a lot going on. We have the horticulture sector, and
Yes.
it's growing, so I'll tell you a little bit more about that later.
Of course, it's coming at the end of the year, and I'm hopeful that a lot is going on in lifestyle, lots of events.
Well, yes, lots of events, like you said, and we have the comedy night that just happened, and I'll tell you more about that.
All righty. So, Moses, what's up in the world of sports?
Guess where is the Rwanda Rugby Union, Rwanda Rugby Federation? Where is it in the World Rugby Union? But that question is no longer there because from January next year, this Rwanda Rugby Union is going to be officially accredited by World Rugby Union. And I'll tell you more in details.
Well, I can't wait to hear that. Well, all that and more still to come, but first, Rise and Shine, story of the day. Today, Rwanda joins the rest of the world to commemorate World AIDS Day under the global theme, "The time to act is now." However, the cure for the disease remains elusive, with a glimmer of hope lying in the antiretroviral therapy, counseling and prevention of mother-to-child transmission. With such services in place, one would say that the battle to eliminate HIV is headed for a milestone of progress, but sufferers now face the stumbling block of stigma and discrimination. Within communities, some patients live in fear or at worst suffer the wrath of rejection from the society. This means that the only alternative to keep one's condition a secret and even shun certain services such as treatment are to hide away and make sure they don't talk about their HIV status. According to the World Health Organization, HIV-related stigma and discrimination refers to the prejudice, negative attitudes and abuse directed at people living with HIV and AIDS. In today's story of the day, we discuss on this same day and we look at what the theme talks about and even get into the details of how the whole picture of AIDS is in Rwanda. Of course, joining us in studio is our dear Yvette. I'm pretty sure you have a lot of questions for me today.
A couple. It's quite a sensitive
Yes.
discussion, sensitive topic. So I think we should just focus, first of all, on the theme.
Yes.
And the theme is, you had mentioned.
Yes. Well, the theme basically, to go so much into, it's more of a theme that talks about. We're looking so much into the whole problem behind the stigma and the discrimination. Actually, while I was going through some reports, I saw something that said AIDS does not discriminate. Do you?
Oh,
And now that went into my mind. I was like,
that
oh,
is
that's
a very
nice
good question. Very good question.
Yes, and I'll basically bring it back home to Rwanda if you want me to, of course.
Of course, always.
And of course, World AIDS Day is a well-recognized day everywhere in the world, every 1st of December. And we get to, take back and look at this epidemic that is killing our brothers, our sisters, our mothers out there and our fathers. And so we're trying to see if, at the moment, I would say the world has done is trying to do their best to make sure that all these that are infected by the disease at least get counseling, because that's one of the biggest issues that people face when they find out that they're HIV is positive.
Yes.
But far from that, I would like us to focus more on the issue of stigma. I'm pretty sure, as a person who has been in this kind of society, there's an issue of stigma and discrimination. And part of what we see is that, more especially here, for example, in Rwanda, is that a very big percentage of people here do not do not like to disclose their HIV status because
I
of
think
the
that's a
discrimination.
worldwide issue.
Yes.
I mean, nobody will ever come forward and actually openly tell you, you know what, I am HIV positive and I wanted to tell you because you're my friend. That will not happen.
Yes, of course.
Hardly, at least.
Yes, and why is that so? Of course, it's all about, even with the few that we have known that they are HIV positive, the kind of feedback they have gotten up from the societies are really negative. For some people, when the society finds out that they're HIV positive, it says for them the person is as good as dead. Which, in other words, is not the whole idea behind the thing. Is like we've seen very many people that are HIV positive that have accomplished different goals in life,
Yes.
that have attributed a lot to their societies, and this should remove the myth that says if you're HIV positive, then you're practically done your life. And we've seen people go on to live for generations. And
No, yes, many, many, many years, and they're very successful. And these days, given our technology and the fact that, you know, the medicine is better and makes you stronger and look even healthier, you could never know when somebody has HIV,
Yes.
AIDS, or even just AIDS in general.
Yes, actually, this takes me back to a few years when we still even had the same issue where people used to look at certain people and they used to judge by the eye that this same person has
Yes,
AIDS.
especially when you're thin or
Yes,
something.
of course. So which was a very big problem. Far from that, at least people have started understanding that actually you could be looking so healthy, but you can still live with HIV and AIDS. But today marks the same message. I think we as a nation and we as the world, we need to put out there that at least we need to do something against discrimination and the stigma. For some people in Rwanda, maybe this is a very sensitive issue that we need to discuss, because the government tries a lot to talk about it, which I would put in Kinyarwanda for viewers at home to understand better. We are not supposed to give people with HIV positive what in Kinyarwanda we call akato.
Oh, okay.
Mahakato. Yes, because these same people, even if they're HIV positive, they need us to make sure that they push on, because it doesn't mean that you're going to die with HIV when you're HIV positive. So the message in today's world, International AIDS Day, is if AIDS doesn't discriminate, why
Should
do
we?
we discriminate? So
Exactly.
that's a very big message, and certain percentages, of course, show that we have, well, Rwanda is not doing that, but in terms of the numbers, we have 3 in 100 people.
Okay.
And if you compare this to other sub-Saharan Africa, if you look at
Yes.
countries like South Africa,
Botswana.
if you look at the southern countries, if you look at Botswana, if you look at the Rainbow Nation, and if you look at countries like Swaziland or
Yes.
most countries in the southern Africa, they're really doing so bad. And what most of these governments are trying to do is make sure at least they do raise up the awareness, you know, because very big percentages in South Africa, of course. And what this government are also trying to do is raise the awareness, but also make sure that these people have the free access to
Medical treatment.
medical treatment, and also the healthy habits of it, and to
Yeah,
make sure these people
consultation.
keep in shape. But the biggest message this year is all about you know, the stigma and discrimination, just as described by the World Health Organization. The whole discrimination comes in when people are not given certain services that they're supposed to receive,
yes.
or they're discriminated in a society in certain activities, which at the end of the day makes these people vulnerable to certain, you know, it makes them not, I feel like, how would I call this? It wouldn't be like loneliness, but rather I would feel like that self-confidence kind of moves away.
Yes,
and which-
definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Of
And
which-
we'll see more about that later,
Of course,
won't we?
of course.
All right.
So, of course, as we, of course, close up on this discussion, as the question goes, if AIDS does not discriminate, why should you? perhaps it's something that we can always talk about and we can extend up this discussion, but let us, we as a society, extend out and make sure this does not repeat. Of course, you've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.
It's unbelievable, but what you see is what you pay.
Welcome back. Let's get today's business. Yvette Shumbusho has the details.
Business stories making headlines today. A 40 million Rwandan franc horticulture training center has been opened in Rulindo district as part of the efforts to improve the sector. The center will serve as a training facility for horticulture sector stakeholders and is under the Smart Adaptive Sustainable Horticulture Project, according to the Agriculture Ministry. The project is the first of its kind in Rwanda and comes with a greenhouse, improved technologies, including soil sampling, pest control, irrigation, and computerized climate control facilities, as well as seed testing. The center is run by the local horticulture firm Rwanda Best Limited. Multinationals operating in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda will be among the first in Africa to feel the impact of the new measures to be adopted in January to curb tax losses caused by the manipulation of contracts between related companies. The three countries, together with Nigeria, Ghana, Burkina Faso, Senegal, Botswana, and South Africa, formed a technical group that last month led to the adoption of the base erosion and profit shifting action by the G20, which aims to save developing countries an estimated $150 billion in tax losses, a quarter of them in Africa. Alice, Kenya Revenue Authority Commissioner for the Domestic Taxes, said that they expect to see definite improvements in the revenue collection from the deterrent effect of better legislation, treaties, and enhanced guidelines and transparency initiatives that they will be rolling in effect from 2016. The volatility of the Rwandan franc against the dollar, coupled with growing competition, has affected the profitability of the local banks this year. I&M Bank and Bank of Kigali recorded marginal growth in the profits in the third quarter as regional banks from Kenya and Uganda and West Africa reduced their market share. I&M Bank, the oldest in the country, is rapidly losing market share. As of September 30th, the bank's profit margin dropped by 22 percent points. The net income declined from $4.8 million in the first 9 months of 2014 to $3.7 million during the second period this year. Welcome to the show, and joining us in the studio is Christian Ituze from Aquila.net. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
So what do you have for us today?
Well, today we have a lot, and we're happy to be talking about the hospitality industry today. So we have jobs in the hospitality industry, and that means hotels.
Okay.
Yes, the best hotels in Rwanda are hiring because, you know, lately Rwanda and East Africa has been the center of tourism in Africa, and hotels are into hiring a lot.
Well, not really tourism attacks, but
Yes, sure. So the hotel, the Milkolin by Kemsky, is looking for an executive chef.
yes.
You see, and they're looking for someone who will be creative, a culinary creative person, and who will be in charge of kitchen management.
Okay.
So basically, you must have kitchen management skills and some culinary creativity.
Okay, so what is their role? Exactly what will they be doing?
They'll be in charge of the whole kitchen,
Okay.
creating new food, maybe
Menu.
menus, and managing the kitchen.
Okay.
Sure.
And what qualifications?
Yeah, you will need for this church. You know, it's a big role, so you will need some experience, 10 years of experience
Oh, wow.
in the kitchen, and 5 years in the kitchen management.
Oh, okay.
Sure, as a kitchen manager.
Okay.
So that's some.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. That's all you need. As long as you got that, you're good. You're good to go.
Okay, what's the next position?
And we have something else. In case you don't know how to cook, there's another spot for you at Kigali Marriott Hotel. You know, the big hotel in
Yes.
town, the
Yeah,
new
Marriott.
hotel.
Yeah.
Yes, they are hiring an accounting supervisor. So the accounting supervisor will be in charge of verifying documents for accuracy, maintaining files, and analyzing computerized financial information.
Okay.
Yes, and for this role to be considered, you need an accounting experience and some good communication skills and the ability to work in team.
Okay, perfect.
And for further information, you can always log on to Aquila.net and you'll see all of these.
All right, is there anything else happening at Aquila.net?
Well, there's a lot happening at Aquila.net. So let me tell you about the upcoming story.
Okay.
So it's all about the personal slogans to keep you inspired in your workplace.
So like motivational notes.
Motivational notes. And a lot of successful people have used this to guide them. And you know, there's this experience from experts. They advise most of us to take some notes and hang them on our walls so that they can keep us motivated every
Yes.
time. So there is this one. 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by things you didn't do than the ones you did do. It was by an American author, Mark Twain.
Oh, okay.
So basically, what you need to know is that you need to focus on doing what you want to do,
Okay.
what you have to do for not regretting in the future, of course. There's another one. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Yeah, and that's by Orison Swett. So what?
Is there another one?
Yeah, there's a lot, but you have to go on the web. Yeah,
Aquila.net.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and these are really important for someone when you're working for your working area. Always to be inspirational and to motivate you to grow into another level. Sure. And let me tell you about last week's story. Yeah, it is this story that is really captivated me, and when I was reading it, even myself, I really enjoyed reading it. So even you should
Okay,
check
what
for
is
it.
it about?
It's all about 10 high-paying, in-demand jobs in East Africa. So basically, we all know about these classic jobs: being a doctor, being
Yes.
an engineer,
A lawyer.
yeah, a lawyer. These are the most high-paying jobs that we knew. But there is Preminas Wainaina. He's a human resource consultant at a talent management firm. He just told us that these were classic thinking. There's out there new jobs that are paying higher amount of money than these jobs that we thought they were the best, like doctors and lawyers. First, let me tell you about the specialized ICT.
So these are the jobs that are well paid.
Sure, that pays a lot of money that what we thought. Yeah, sure. So there is specialized ICT. When you just learn ICT, it's global. It's a lot of stuff, and you're not really well paid. You're just an IT of some random company. But when you specialize in something like system administration or network administration or maybe IT security, then you get really well paid. Lately with a lot of information going on, we are in the information era. So as long as you specialize yourself in a certain ICT sector or department, you really get a good job with a lot of money. Sure.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and there's also supply chain manager and digital marketing. All these and 7 other more that are on the web are at your disposition. You can pick one and follow your goal.
All
Get
right.
tons of money. Sure.
All right, thank you. You're now up to date with today's business headlines. Sports news coming in just a minute with Moses Vidikonzira.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine in Rwanda. Time now for your sport news. I am Moses Milikunzira. Starting with local rugby. Where does Rwanda stand in the World Rugby Union? Effective from January 2016, Rwanda will be a full member of World Rugby Union. With full membership, it means the country will access privilege given to other full members countries, but there is a long criteria that a very member country, including Rwanda, has to fulfill to retain the membership, which is subject to renew every after 24 months. The federation has been surviving on basic help from Ministry of Sports and Culture, MINISPOC, the Rwanda National Olympic Sports Committee, Africa Rugby, UK-based NGOs Friends of Rwandan Rugby, as well as Wishes. Now onto European football. Arsenal picked up injuries in 1-1 draw with Norwich on Sunday. Arsenal missed the chances to draw level with points with Manchester City at the top of English Premier League table after drawing 1-1 with Norwich. That draw came at a cost as injuries to Lola Koscielny and Alex Sanchez dipped Arsenal's woo. Centre-back Koscielny was forced off in the first half with hip injury, while forward Sanchez hobbled off after the interval with an apparent hamstring problem. Elsewhere, Liverpool narrowly won 1-0 against struggling Swansea. West Ham drew 1-1 to West Bromwich, and Borussia Dortmund won 4-1 against VfB Stuttgart, and Real Madrid won 2-0 to Eibar. And onto tennis. Andy Murray stunned David Goffin 6-3, 7-5, 6-3 as Great Britain won Davis Cup for the first time in 79 years. Great Britain has won the Davis Cup for the first time since 1936 after Andy Murray beat Belgium David Goffin to clinch the decisive point in Ghent. Murray won 6-3, 7-5, 6-3 to give the visitors an unassailable 3-1 lead in best-of-5 tie. Britain have now won the team title 10 times, while Murray adds the Davis Cup to his other major titles at Wimbledon, the US Open, and the Olympic Games. Captain Leo Smith guided Britain from the third tier to glory in 5 years.
And of course, Moses, I would like to first of all get into the details of this one. Finally, at least we have here a team helping us with the, finally the Rwandan rugby team, the Silverbacks, are getting the recognition they need to have, at this point. I think this is a very good moment and a turning point for our rugby, especially for the Silverbacks.
Absolutely. In Rwanda, the Rugby Federation has been trying to work hard and hard, but that has only been for people who are volunteers, people who are helping the federation to achieve a lot. Because every sport requires a lot of, they require material, they require equipment, they require training facilities and training ground and all those facilities. And they were being supported by MINISPOC, and they were also supported by NGO from UK and France. And now it's very good. It's a very good timing for rugby because we are closing the year, we are entering the new year, and the fact that it's going to be in January and that they are going to get the benefit from World Rugby Federation or Union, including training for the coaches, technical staff, and players, and the players are going to be exposed. So now we can see Rwanda rugby taking to the hate, as we see Kenya, the way Kenya are doing, and also why not playing South Africa and other countries. So this is a perfect moment for Rwanda rugby especially.
Well, I can't wait to see, because it's a very big league. At least one thing I know, in the game of rugby, Africa is doing quite a good job because of the team of the Springboks in South Africa,
Yes.
and also of course Kenya is doing
Seven.
a great
Rugby 7.
Yes.
Kenya is actually one of the best in Africa.
Yes, so I'm pretty sure if Rwanda is able to join the same league, I think we'll see our boys coming up, which is, I would say, like, congratulations to them. But jumping on, of course, to the Premier League, of course, Arsenal is having the issues now at this moment. An Arsenal team that a team that is also eyeing for the Premier League, the title. I think this is a very, very sad news for the Arsenal fans out there, especially for Alexis Sanchez with his great impact on the pitch. I think this is going to be a very hard time for Arsenal Wenger to see his team go through.
This has been a talk of so many years.
Yes.
Everyone knew that when the climax of matches start coming up, especially when we get out of November to December and January, that's a time when all players in Premier League play a lot of matches. And for Arsenal in particular, they always had this issue for the last 10 years, whereby Wenger is always reluctant to buy players, and to an extent that players, especially key players, including Coquelin is injured, they are only defending midfielder.
Of course.
Arteta is injured, and now Sanchez is out injured. Koscielny, their best centre back, is injured. Now Chamberlain is out, Theo Walcott is out. I mean, now the team that we were talking about a month ago, that they can now challenge the title. Now we are starting asking, can they maintain? Can they do it with these injuries? It has been there. So I'm looking forward to see Wenger buying players in January, especially for the holding midfielder, plus of course a centre back, and someone to get out and take the bargain out of Ozil, because now Ozil and Kazoya are doing their own working alone. So Wenger should do something, and I'm pretty sure that he's going to do something about it.
Well, I can't wait to see what happens in a few months from now, because at least what I can see is that we have a very few gap in terms of points on the table. Well, the Premier League is hotter than ever now. Well, jumping on, of course, Andy Murray did it again. I think the British are very proud of their boy in tennis, and I think this is very good news. After such a long time without taking out the Davis Cup, this is very good news to the British.
Absolutely, for Britain, for Team Britain, Andy Murray has proved that he's the golden boy to them.
Of course.
And I'm a good fan of him, of course. And you know, the way, the enthusiasm, the hard working, the spirit that they had even before the game.
At least this recalls the kind of disappointment they got from the World Cup, of course.
Yeah, now he's consoling them, you know, from the Rugby World Cup, disappointment at home soil. But him now in tennis, outside, not even in England, they were in Ghent, in Belgium. And he proved that he can take the whole team to his shoulders, and he proved it. Him and his brother, they really did a good job. And now, winning a title after 79 years means a lot for the country and for the nation. Davis Cup now, it's a big deal in tennis. And he did a great job. And the way he won 3-1, you know, and he dominated. And this Belgian guy he was playing with, he's the best player in Belgium. And the fact that he beat them convincingly proved to the world that he's coming up. And Djokovic and this other guy should watch out. He's coming, and he'll push.
All right, maybe we'll see him taking the Wimbledon or the US.
He did it though. To the home soil, and everybody was happy and proud. Well done.
All right. There you had it from sports. You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Local and international news coming just up next in a few minutes.
It's unbelievable, but what you see is what you pay.
Let's take a look now at news making headlines in Rwanda and around the world.
The Rwanda National Police Traffic and Road Safety Department has eased the process through which members of the public holding expired driver's license can renew them. The spokesman for Traffic and Road Safety Department said they also allow relatives or friends of those seeking to renew their permits, including those in the diaspora. To pick up a renewed license, he explained, one is required to present the expired one and a national identity card.
Pope Francis on his last tour in the Central African Republic, visiting a mosque in the capital of Bangui in what is being seen as the most difficult part of his African tour. The Pope met Muslims who have sought shelter in Bangui after nearly 3 years of violence between Christians and Muslims. Most Muslims had left the capital, but 15,000 of them have been in the area called PK5, surrounded by armed Christian militia. Pope Francis will conclude his visit to Africa with a final mass in Bangui on Sunday. The Pope called on to the fighting factions in the CER to lay down their weapons.
And in other news, counting is underway in Burkina Faso, where voters have been choosing a new president and parliament after a year of political turmoil. It is the first election since last year's popular uprising, which toppled long-standing President Blaise Compaoré. The vote was due to have been held last month, but was delayed by a failed coup in September led by members of the elite presidential guard.
And in international news, a critical UN conference aimed at agreeing a new global approach to climate change is set to open in Paris. Negotiators from 195 countries will try to reach a deal within 2 weeks aimed at reducing global carbon emissions. Leaders from 147 nations will address the meeting known as COP21. Initiatives aimed at boosting clean technologies are due to be launched, but the world's poorest countries say that they fear to be left behind in the push of a new treaty.
Okay, lots more still to come. We take a look at what's happening in lifestyle and what's hot in our daily debate section, Hot Topics with Sherry Uwase. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. It's now time for your lifestyle update with me, Sherry Uwase. Well, it's been a wonderful way to begin the month of December, and the comedy night kicked off in style last Saturday at Serena Hotel. It was no doubt our time well spent for those who attended, and I was there too to bring you all the details. Here is a sneak peek.
A poor man in Zimbabwe. Just give up. Lucas Kaita, le mignon archevêque, c'est lui qui a traversé l'océan Pacifique à la nage, à l'air et tout sans se noyer. Qui a mangé du piment, 20 kilos du piment sans faire.
Ubundi nitwa Lucas Kayitare, nkaba nsanzwe ndumukomedian nkora ibintu bijyanye no gusetsa abantu. Ubundi byari byiza kuko ni n'ubwa mbere na performance kuri mfite public nini cyane, ariko byari byiza cyane urebye abantu bari bishimye ndetse ndimo ndanasoza bishimye kurushaho. Mu by'ukuri ni ibintu nagize imbaraga nyinshi kuri gahunda nari mfite n'undi yo kujya nkora amashow menshi, ndashaka gushyira imbaraga nyinshi cyane kuko nabonye ko public yishimira ibyo mba ndimo ndakora.
Trust me on one thing, the beauty I saw in Rwanda, the woman they call ugliest in Rwanda, when you take her to Uganda, she will miss Uganda.
Okay, my name is Emeka. Yeah, my real name is Bareja Collins. Emeka is my stage name. Basically, in Uganda, we Chiga are actually taking up the whole comedy industry. You can see my friend Alex Mohanji, my sister Ann Kansime, Ronnie McVex, Nancy. Yeah, basically, we are naturally talented. It was actually so awesome. The crowd was very nice. The people got the jokes very well. And I was so surprised that I received applauses for every joke that I was giving. Every joke I was cracking, people were really, really clapping their hands, which is a very, very nice experience. Yeah.
This is how you know you're ugly. When you post a picture, no one likes it. And this is how you know you are very ugly. You post it there and follow you. Have you got the puzzle? Vivo com esse rushinho, o Uriel vai pá, e everybody, sing, 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 sing,
What's up, Kigali, Rwanda? This is your boy Alex Mhanji, all the way from Kampala, Uganda. I'm here representing Rise and Shine. That's what's up. I was doing my thing down there, and I had fun. The audience was having fun as well, and that's what matters. So it's a good thing. I always love. It's been this is what the fourth time, I think. Fourth time. Kings of Comedy twice, then Comedy Jam last year, and then this time. So it was nice. It's a great experience. Every time I come through, I really have fun.
I am Babu. Okay, my real name's Muyenzi John, and I am a stand-up comedian here in Group Comedy Nights. In Rwanda, basically what I've learned, you don't know what to expect. When you least expect it, you get surprised and too many people come. And when you're more expectant, you see less people have come. And so I thank God for what we had. We could have heard better, we could have heard worse, but this is good. Yeah. And life goes on. They say, you said like when you laugh, you're adding on years to your life.
Comedy night.
Comedy night.
How is your rib cage?
Well, I'm nursing it just like you'd nurse anything else. But it was really amazing. It was funny. It was hilarious, like any other comedy show.
Yes.
So it was really good.
How was it? Was it attended by many?
I wouldn't really say it was attended by many because it's not a show that's so popular in the country yet.
Okay.
But let me just say it was a good turn up.
Oh.
Yeah, it could have been worse, but I think it was a good turn up.
What were some of your highlights?
My highlights let me see. There are many. There are actually many. I'm trying to see which one to pin down, but there are very many. There's this comedian from Uganda. His name is Ekere. No, Emeka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Emeka. I don't even know why I got that name, but his name is Emeka. So he cracked this joke. You know how every other person who comes to Rwanda for the first time, they're really always impressed by the women. And then he said he hasn't seen any ugly woman in Rwanda. And whoever would be called an ugly woman and taken to Uganda would win Miss Uganda. I don't know what was that supposed to be. But anyway, there's so many jokes, there's so many comedians and upcoming comedians which gave a platform for, people who are in the comedy industry to, to be confident enough and to take it on professionally.
And what is your view on the industry as a whole?
The industry is, it's growing. And there is room for it to actually be successful.
Yes.
Especially that people really use a lot of social media.
Yes.
People are bored most of the time and then they log on, they want a good laugh. So it's a good thing for them. And it happens monthly. It's going to be happening monthly. And I think they're headed somewhere.
Okay, great.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. So do not go away. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back, and it's that Hot Topics time again. As always, the Rise and Shine Rwanda team, we've been up and about gathering everything that you need to know about what's happening here and abroad, from what's trending on Twitter to the debates in your local cafe. We've got it all for you right here, right now. Military forces have rescued 241 women and children kept captive by the Boko Haram. Nigeria's military said on Wednesday that they had freed the prisoners following a raid on 2 camps controlled by the radical Islamic terrorist group. The raids took place on Tuesday and destroyed both camps, which also resulted in the arrest of 43 Boko Haram militants. Let's just say this rescue mission is probably the highlight of this year.
Yes.
These girls were taken last year in April, and the search has been going on for them. So let me just start with you, Moses.
You always know that the moment it comes to a very good action happen to women and children, I'm always fond of, because I'm a guy who want that women and children can live a better life. And the fact that these girls and mom have been rescued by the military of Nigeria, it's a cool, congratulations, well done. And they really this actually is a highlight of the new president who just took place, and he did something that the former president couldn't do.
Okay.
So it's also an action of intent that now I did what someone else has never managed to do, and now he's sending the message to other terrorists that do what you can do, but we'll come for you and will definitely get you out where you are, and will kill you, or will even kill or even capture some of your militant. And he did a perfect job, and congratulations to Nigerian
military forces. All right, thank you.
I mean, this is like, hooray, finally.
Right?
Finally the girls are back. I mean, since last year in April. It's a very, very long time.
Very long time.
Yes, and I'm so glad at least they not only got the girls, but they were able to also capture some of the Boko Haram militants.
43 of them.
43 of them, so that is perfect.
2 camps, actually.
I feel a bit nervous though, because I feel like maybe it may result to Mali, because when the Malian military got some of the terrorists in Mali and actually captured them, and they were all imprisoned, the hotel situation, the siege, was a result of it. So I hope that Nigeria actually keeps everything very tight and security is tight, and they're always on their feet.
Right.
Well, Sherry, not to be rude, I would like to say that for me, I see it from a different angle. Well, I think it's the responsibility of the army. I'm very happy that it was a successful mission. But at the end of the day, I think this Boko Haram is actually affecting Nigeria. Nigeria has, if we look at Nigeria's response in the few years, of course terrorism is a very delicate issue that you need to handle very carefully in terms of the way you handle these people. But I think, again, for me, they have been kind of slow. It's been a successful mission, but a lot more needs to be done for Boko Haram. I think it's a regional issue. Something needs to be done by the ECOWAS in the region. Something needs to be done by the African Union to make sure that Boko Haram power is reduced, because something might happen again. Now, if these girls have been rescued, something else is going to happen. Soon they're going to be attacking a village, maybe. But for me, I think I'm very happy that the girls are back. Some of the girls are back. Some were back way before. But at least at this moment, we know that hashtag Bring Back Our Girls has been successful. But a lot needs to be done by the by the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and especially even the regional countries that work with Nigeria, especially the ECOWAS.
Okay, I would actually like to debate with you on that issue, because I feel like the government has really been doing a lot. They definitely haven't been at peace, and we can't be at peace. But like you said, I think we know that the African Union has already put together a military army. We talked about it just the other day, and they have their forces training in South Africa. So most likely, when the army is ready, I think they should be able to service even such terrorism groups. Yeah. Anyway, Gambia's President Yahya Jammeh has banned female genital mutilation, saying it is not required. It's not required in Islam. 3/4 of women in mostly the Muslim countries have had the procedure. The announcement was at a rally, and it met with a huge applause. You know, this is good news. Finally, we should also applaud, right? The other day we were just talking about it being banned in Nigeria. I'll start with you, Ivan.
Well, this is, I think, a very good move that most of these countries, especially Muslim-dominated countries, are trying to do, which I think is a very good move. And it's a good message that they're sending out to all countries, especially in respect to the women out there in the African continent, and especially even in respect to human rights. Because at the end of the day, I think this is a very big issue. Especially, it's not a required custom that you're supposed to do, that women are supposed to be circumcised, or female genital mutilation is supposed to be done. So, congratulations to Yahya Jammeh for doing that, and I think it's a good way, and it's an example we should all be taking, especially in countries in northern Kenya, where it's still a very big issue, also in northern Uganda.
Definitely. I mean, finally, I feel like, you know, since Nigeria went above and beyond and actually stopped the genital mutilation, the female genital mutilation, then other countries started following, and this is great. It's like a domino effect. Once somebody does it, everyone in the whole, you know, the continent starts actually stopping this act, and it's excellent. I'm very happy about that.
All right, Moses.
As always, I can only congratulate Gambia President for the action that he took, put in place. As she mentioned, that after Nigeria, as one of actually second or third superpower country in Africa, have taken action, and Uganda have decided it's not allowed now, and actually the cricket game that happened in Kenya from the Masai, that was a message, and that message, now people have started being aware of what is now happening, that what they were supposed to do. Congratulations, and now they are bringing value to our mothers and sisters to life, and congratulations. There's nothing, it's actually only happiness that I can say.
Okay. And finally, let us bring it back home. Just this past weekend, there was a mass sports activity in Kigali at the car-free zone. How a functional way to make use of the car-free zone, right?
Yes.
So people just met, a mass of people, many people, and then they had, I don't know, Moses should probably enlighten me more on this. I don't know if it was stretching, but it was, I don't really want to call it a peaceful way. Okay, fine. That's how they call it, right? Moses, let's go.
When it goes to sports and the fact that they use a car-free zone, the most secure place, actually, there are no cars going, there no fear of accident and stuff. And you are very close to where, when you get tired, you can get water somewhere next to their shops and supermarkets nearby. I mean, that's the best use of the car-free zone. And sports-wise, now people do aerobic. There are people who are a bit lazy, they don't do sports. And when it comes to that, now that was a very good action, and I'm pretty sure when the city of Kigali decided to to mark that area as a free zone, that they had that in mind. And there are a lot of activity that can happen in that free space, where people can gather, especially on Valentine's Days, Christmas period. There are a lot of things will happen during this coming time when the area is free. I mean, it's even when it's a bit at night, around 6, 7. You can walk with people, couples. They can walk, and I mean, it's a good place. Right. I really enjoyed that that moment. It was beautiful.
He just gave us an idea for Valentine's. Anyway, Yvette, on to you.
Definitely. I like how this country is so active. I mean, we have that Friday where everybody has to go and do sports in the afternoon instead of just staying in the office.
Yeah, government organizations.
Yes.
Right.
And some actually private organizations also
really?
do that. Yes.
Okay.
So I really like it. It brings unity. I mean, you're doing something together and it's
bonding.
Exactly, and then it's good for your health. It's impressive. I'm very impressive.
Right.
Sure, I'm very happy because I think at this moment I think we should have a town car free zone. So such a good way to utilize the car free zone. I think we're going to see more. Of course, this is in terms of also health wise. I think the car free zone is proving to be a very good destination. Of course, we are running green. The city of Kigali is one of the ways I think they're going to be running green and make sure that there's not that kind of congestion in the city. And let's use the car free zone. You know, there are parties coming up. Valentine's is coming up in February next year. So I think we could be using the car free zone. As he said, I think you can take
and Christmas as well,
Of course.
And Christmas, right? Yeah.
So I'm very happy for the city of Kigali, and I think we need more free zones to, have all this kind of fun we need.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So more hot topics to come tomorrow. For now, stay tuned and don't go anywhere.
Don't forget, we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. Like us on Facebook and send us your ideas for programs. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports we do. Find us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We love to see your pictures. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website, www.riseendshinerwanda.com. Well, that is all the time we have for you today. We love to hear your feedback, so keep sending them in. And do let us know if you have any ideas for programs. You've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Yvette Shubusho.
And of course, me, Ivan Magwene. We'll be here same time, same place tomorrow. Do join us then. But for now, from the both of us and the rest of the Rise and Shine team, have a very good day. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.